Well, so for people that don't know, what do you do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, are we already filming?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Awesome. So what do I do? So my main gig is Cork and Keg Tours. It's my winery and brewery tour company. And I do all the front end of the business. My husband and I own it together. And the reason we can make it work is because neither of us like each other's jobs.
Yeah.
So I like all the marketing, the PR, the front end of the house, making the guest experiences. He does all the numbers and the driving and all that stuff that just goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it's a really good partnership. It's we've been married 26 years. It'll be 26 years in November.
Awesome.
And people, when they find out that we're married and we work together on the weekends and we both work from home, they're like, "Why isn't one of you?"
And you guys
dead?
are still together? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or alive.
Yeah, I mean it's hilarious, but it's because we really do. We stand up each other's way and we respect the other's opinions. So the tiebreaker is whoever's in charge of that division of the company.
I love that.
So yeah, and we both respect that, And I've made some terrible marketing decisions that he was like, "I told you it wouldn't work," and I'm like, you don't get to do that.
Yeah, it was a learning experience.
Yeah,
we learned.
Exactly, because now it's going to be even better next time.
That's
so
right.
I fail up. That is
That's
my
right.
rule. So
I love that.
So that's what I do. So I take care of my guests, and we really differentiate ourselves because it's morphed into in just 3 years in being in business, a full concierge experience.
Yeah.
So instead of just, okay, you want to go to wineries and breweries, which ones? Okay, we're going to take you there. Now, I get people restaurant reservations, brunch reservations. I'm in the Loudoun B&B Guild as a membership co-chair. So I get people special rates at B&Bs in Loudoun County. I have special rates with several hotels.
Wow.
I work with other experiential businesses to create a whole weekend, like Mani Petty's at the Paint Nail Bar. Hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna.
Yeah.
And just doing alpaca farms.
Okay.
So I've become this whole Loudoun concierge where people say what they want out of a weekend, and I get them to add different things, stay in Loudoun County, and keep all those dollars coming to our
Have
county.
you connected to visit Loudoun already?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm sure they love you.
Yeah.
They better at least.
They're fans. They did a profile on me,
Okay,
which
cool.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they came out and filmed and just showed what we do in the van and just kind of captured what makes my business uniquely Loudoun. And I really do feel that it is uniquely Loudoun in a lot of ways. Loudoun County gives you so many opportunities and resources to connect with other businesses, anything from Visit Loudoun and the Chamber and just all the groups. It's a great place to really, be an entrepreneur. And so being able to leverage all of that and bring in new people.
Yeah.
So like, corporate outings and, anniversaries and birthdays and just days out. I have a lot of local business, people who have lived here for 20 years and have still never been to all of the wineries. Who does that?
I was gonna say, well, most people don't even know what they've lived here their whole life, like you just said, but they don't even know what is out there in Loudoun because
Yeah.
they stick to their normal routines.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
like you're basically, that would be fun to do like an event for Loudouners specifically where it's like that Discover Loudoun.
Yes. So the hidden gems.
Yeah, do
is
you already
one
have
of
it?
the- yeah. So
You're like already on it, Aaliyah.
well, I didn't really
Yeah.
call it that, but that's a good way to call it. But yeah, so I have a hidden gem tour where I take people to the places that they might not have realized were right here. I can't believe how many people, for example, don't know about Zephaniah Farm Vineyard.
Yeah.
It's less than 2 miles from Stone Tower, and when I bring that up to locals, they're like, "What?" And I was like, yeah, it is an old haunted historic barn and farmhouse, working farm, some of the best wine overall in Loudoun County. And there's a lot of great wine here. Almost all of them have won one award or another, but theirs is just so consistently wonderful across the board.
Yeah.
So we love to expose new or in-town people, Loudouners,
Yeah.
to what their hometown has to offer, and it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Okay, so you started talking about karaoke. How does that fit into what you just talked about?
Yeah.
And what
so-
inspired you besides the fact that your husband said, get it out there? Or was that the inspiration?
Well, no. So I love karaoke anyway, but I always have, and I can only do 3 songs because I cannot sing at all, which is part of the joke. I mean, even when I listen back to it, I'm like, wow, I thought I did that one really well, and it's really bad. So anyway, so I loved karaoke anyway. So when I was doing the virtual wine tastings during the quarantine, somehow I got in. I had it with Lisa Adams with her Facebook group. We did a live interview, and for some reason we were talking about that and talking about getting together to do karaoke, and I just busted out in like song just as a joke. And then she's like, "You should totally do that, on your tours." I'm like, I should totally do that on my tours. So then of course COVID hits, and so I'm doing the virtual wine tastings, and I'm like, why not? So I was just YouTubing karaoke songs at that point and saying, okay, we're gonna sing a song on this theme. And then I had people doing polls to vote for whether I was gonna do classic rock or divas. So people were voting. Nobody ever chose for me to do divas. I never got a Celine Dion or a
Tag me in your next one. I'll double vote that one.
I hope not, because I can't sing those songs at all. Found out that ABBA is really hard to sing. I had no idea.
Oh, I sing it all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Whether it sounds good or not doesn't matter.
Ooh, mine is so bad. I had to stop it. I'm like, you guys, I can't even stand hearing it myself. So anyway, it started out as just virtual wine tastings, doing local wine, whatever was in my fridge from the quarantine. When I ran out of local wine, then we came up with something. So I was doing the karaoke along with the wine tastings, just to bring people in and have fun.
Yeah.
What ended up starting to happen within just a few weeks was people were coming, especially those that were quarantined alone, were like, this makes my day. I look forward to it every day. You make me smile. You get me away from the news. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I didn't even think about that. Because I was going to stop at a certain point. I'm like, okay, this is getting old. Yeah. But those people would write to me and say that, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't stop now.
Yeah.
So then when I ran out of local wine, we came up with doing pickup parties, which is where we still weren't ready to do full-on tours, but wineries and breweries were still doing curbside pickup. So we thought, okay, for $100, you can book us, just you and your family, whoever one place, people who are quarantined together. You can all get into the van that's been sanitized, and we'll take you to the 3 places where you bought local wine and or beer. So now we're getting, and we got hundreds of dollars of wine and beer sold at each one of those for these. Oh, yeah. So that was really cool. So we would take people on a mini tour, let them, we would put a playlist on for them and drive them out to the wineries and breweries, got out of the house, got to stock up on wine and beer, and we got to bring business to those wineries and breweries. So that was really great. Well, by the time we got toward the end of the quarantine, and then people are starting to come back out in May, I had already figured out how to do karaoke through an app instead of on my laptop with my phone on top. And so then one of our last pickup parties were some regular customers of ours. We put karaoke up on the screen and live streamed them doing the karaoke.
Oh my gosh,
and
so much fun.
Yeah, and it went so well. So now it's one of the options to book the tours, and almost everybody gets it. And I always bring it just in case, because by the end of the tour, you sure you don't want to sing a couple of songs? First taste is free, but it's not a big money maker, but it pays for the subscription, but it increases and enhances the experience.
That's so much fun.
That's what we're all about. We really want people to have an unforgettable experience with us and talk about and laugh about whatever ridiculous thing happened. One of our guests sent us a video once. Hilarious. So they're in the back and they're doing karaoke, and it was the bride-to-be's favorite song. So she starts trying to really sing, and someone starts singing over her, and she's like, it's my day. Stop singing over.
Upstage me.
It was really great. The video is just so funny because she was just like getting into it.
Yeah.
So moments like that, when they watch those back, they remember us and they remember that day, and then they book their other special days.
Yeah, they're creating and documenting those memories.
Exactly. Tasting the memories, if you will.
There we go. I love that. Okay, so in terms of other business owners that are listening to this right now, they might not be in that stage of like, oh my gosh, I've seen so much success, right? What are some different recommendations that you can give to them, because I know you've got this amazing marketing brain in there, and or strategies or something that you can pass on for them to be, whether it doesn't matter what industry they're in, that you could share.
So I think one thing that people get in their own way on is trying to be all the things and trying to be on every platform that's out there. Pinterest, Twitter, Snapping, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. There are so many. And you really have to figure out which 2, maybe 3, depending on how savvy you are, that you want to focus on and where your audience is. Because your audience is not everywhere. You have to decide who it is you want to go after and then pick where they are and start in small bites. So when I'm advising people and mentoring people, that's kind of an offshoot of what I'm doing with Cork and Keg Tours. Now I'm helping people not only with wine education, but with getting into marketing and branding and understanding how to use social to their advantage. Like, for example, just start your social circle within businesses you already know and patronize. You know something about them. You can support them. You can, you can shout them out, and you can start building from their audience. Because if you're in their audience, people in their audience are probably going to be in your audience. That's right. So you have to kind of make that decision and do it in small pieces. You can't go after every hashtag. You can't go after every time. You have to give yourself a strategy and just 3 days at a time, stick to it. Because I'm terrible about that. I don't like to follow rules. I don't know how I was in the military for 6 years. I am not the boss of me, and I don't like to be told what to do, even by myself. And so by giving myself that 3-day limit, it made it easy for me to say, okay, I can do anything for 3 days, except diet. Yeah. But so I did it in 3-day chunks because I knew that my discipline of staying focused was my hardship. I call that finding your ick. So when you know what your problem is, you can figure out what your solution is. So because I'm not very disciplined and I'm not very organized, I thought, okay, I'm making these 3-day plans. I'm going to schedule out for 3 days. So I started using Creator Studio to schedule Instagram and Facebook. And I would just sit down and in an hour power out 3 and 3, 3 and 3, 3 and 3. And then suddenly it became a habit. I don't even think about it anymore. I just automatically schedule out 3 and 3. And it's such a small bite and it's such a small chunk that it really gives me an opportunity to succeed. So I think the biggest thing that business owners do, especially as entrepreneurs, when we're wearing every hat and doing everything, is trying to do too much too fast.
I love that.
Yeah, and you can't figure out what doesn't work until you figure out what does. Or you can't figure out what does work until you figure out what doesn't. That's a better way to say it. Because if you're trying to change everything at once, if you're increasing your Facebook and adding Twitter and snapping, whatever you call that.
Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat. I think there's another one. My son, he's 21, and he said there's Snap Stories? And then the TikToking.
Yeah.
But if you try to do all that at once, how are you going to know? You're going to have to make a bunch of landing pages. You're going to have to do all these different things to try to track where your leads are coming from. And then you get overwhelmed because you get 4 here and 4 there. And, which one? But what if you had done it all on that one and gotten 8 on that platform, Yeah. So I really learned to streamline and to take it in small bites.
So I love what you said because batching out a whole bunch at one time can feel so overwhelming that you just don't do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if you can just do it in 3-day chunks, you're still very thoughtful about what's going on, and you can stay current and relevant because the world is changing at such rapid speed.
Yes. And it gives you an opportunity to then put in something that just pops up, on an occasion. Like, for example, when the Loudoun Film Festival was happening out at 50 West, that wasn't in my plan, but I found out about it on a tour on a Saturday. I had my post posted out till Monday. So what did I do? Monday evening, I put something out there about that film festival because I already had stuff that was already set for that Saturday, but I had an opportunity to add something new that I found out about without that sense of, oh my God, I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
And so, my 3 and 3 has just been a game changer for me. And it's, I don't even think about it anymore, like I said, because when you do that long enough, it then just becomes a habit instead of something that you have to think about. I'm loving it. And I'm also very intentional about the time. So using your insights is something that I think locks up a lot of people. They get very nervous about, I don't know what these charts mean. I don't even know where to find my insights. It's okay.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Those are the 3 words. Ask for help. Go onto your page and read your newsletters and find out different tips on how to do different things, on social media, how to schedule. Mindset is I know it sounds trite, and I know it's something that, might be a little don't think it's a played out word yet, like the word pivot.
It's not sexy though.
It's
right?
not.
Like mindset is not, nobody wants to work on their mindset.
Yeah, and when you do it though, I mean, you feel like you unlock something, and I'm not trying to go all the secret on people, but something happens when you just turn that ball around and you look at it from this angle and you're like, oh, what have I been missing by looking at it over here this whole time?
And see, here's the thing, you know it after having gone to the other side.
Yes.
After like finding out. But when you talk to somebody who's never worked on their mindset or who don't think it's that important, you really can't explain it to them.
You can't. Nobody could have explained it to me.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I had already discovered these different things and put new strategies in place and done all the things that I need to do to try to get successful. And I was getting frustrated because things really just weren't happening. But the Gary Vee challenge, I'm telling you.
What's the Gary Vee challenge? I love Gary Vee, but I kind
man.
of dropped off a little while ago.
December 2nd, Gary Vee slide deck. That is what you need to look up.
Wait, the curating a whole bunch of content from.
It was, so I saw it on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
and the
I saw it
slide
too.
deck tells you all these different things that you
How to multi-purpose.
can do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how to make, it's like making cartoon images of yourself, and
Yeah.
it's video, and it's
Yeah.
it's everything. Now, I didn't do everything. I chose the things that I knew I could do well.
Yeah.
That was something that I got from Tiger Woods a million years ago. Not, he didn't call me, but
Yeah.
I
like, Renee,
it's like, hey
you
girl,
got it.
what's happening? No, I saw an interview with him where he was talking about how there's a certain thing in golf, and my golf terminology is garbage, but let's say, what is it, a slice when you hit it to the right, to
No
the
idea.
left is a slice, to the
I
right
can't
is a
help
hook.
you.
Okay. See, we don't have to do all the things, right?
No.
So he was talking about how, let's say it was his slice, that was terrible. He had a really hard time not hitting that ball curving to the left, but he was great at not at leveraging his, let's say it's a hook or whatever, like going to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of beating his head against the wall with the thing he was weak at, he perfected what he was great at to neutralize the thing he wasn't. So that's not to say that you shouldn't try to learn and shouldn't try to work on your weaknesses, but you should focus on your strengths. I say focus on my strengths, try harder on some of my weaknesses, but pay someone to do everything that I just don't like and just don't have a talent for.
Yeah.
And that's what my husband is. He's my hired help.
We won't tell him.
Yeah, he won't watch this. It's fine.
Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing a lot of really good strategies. I mean, that was some good stuff. And
thank
people are
you.
going to see this after your Facebook
Okay.
interview thing, so
so
people can
exciting.
see like, okay, like this stuff works. This
It really
stuff
does.
gets the attention and visibility that you need to grow your business.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to really leverage. I've always been a business supporter anyway, so I was able to kind of leverage that whole attitude into something that actually helped me as well. There's nothing wrong with doing things that help your business.
I mean,
People are like,
as a small business owner, that's the whole point.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm not a
Be
volunteer
strategic.
for everything. Be strategic.
Yeah.
Everything isn't to be for a volunteer. And yeah, I'm getting something out of it. Why else would I spend my work time doing it?
Yeah.
Just because I was closed during the pandemic didn't mean that suddenly I had a vacation. No,
Yeah.
I had to work twice as hard to stay relevant. And now we're booked out through November.
Yeah.
And so many other opportunities. So, and it helped me to develop my personal or my professional brand, which I'm going to have to pick your brain on. Maybe I'll have to hire you for a session, called Go Be Grape, which is my wine educator and social marketing coaching
Oh, nice.
brand.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I want to speak. I want to go to different, small businesses. I want to mentor entrepreneurs, and trying to put together all three of these under the same umbrella is a bit of a challenge. But that's going to be it. I'm not going to be anybody else.
I love it. High five, virtual vibe. Boom.
Virtual high five.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Great seeing you today.
You too.